Now, it's great to follow up on stories on Business Arena. Last year, we followed the story of a visionary company building new technology for the energy sector. Here's a report on that company, and we've got some interviews coming up too.
PAIH conference attendees gathered in front of Poland's National Stadium were greeted by an unusual sight. Towering over ground is a prototype of one of the pillars of Poland's future energy mix, the PW20 small modular reactor.
Engineering starts in our headquarters in Washington, but also in Texas, where we have our manufacturing center in the US. However, this particular prototype we manufactured in Poland, near Katowice, in the Silesian Voivodeship, by our local partner, Energoinstal Group.
Unlike most SMR producers, however, the US-based company is not planning to sell their technology, but instead invest in the construction of power plants and collect profits from their output.
The product that we're actually offering is the electricity and the heat that we sell to the industrial clients, local heating networks, and anyone who needs a lot of clean and affordable energy in Poland and other markets we're in.
The 14-metre tall reactor boasts a high capacity, providing 20 megawatts of electricity and 3 times that amount in thermal energy. This is sufficient to supply heat to a city of 100,000 people without emitting any carbon. Given the concerns surrounding the safety of using nuclear energy after the Fukushima reactor's meltdown, the company is committed to constructing their technology with the most advanced enhanced and passive systems approved by local regulators. This is meant to ensure multi-layer security.
Any person, after it's buried and loaded with fuel, which is not the case today, a person can stand near it and have no negative impact on themselves because of the physical barrier that will be that this reactor and the system will be surrounded with.
Small module reactors are to play a key role in decarbonizing the Polish economy. The Polish Economic Institute estimates that by 2040, more than 100 of such reactors could be supplying power for industrial production, in addition to heat for Polish cities.
Now, when many people come to trade fairs, they bring a key ring, they bring some pens. But my guest today, who is Bret Kugelmass of Last Energy, has brought a nuclear reactor. Bret, thank you very much for joining me. And we met a year ago.
That's right.
And it's a lot of progress since then.
Pretty incredible, huh?
Indeed, indeed. And this thing you brought here, what exactly is it?
It's a prototype of a full scale, so 1-to-1 ratio for our nuclear island. So the reactor, pressurizer, pumps, steam generator, everything that would go inside of the nuclear building of your system, we brought a manufactured product at full scale to this conference.
Now, how long did something like that take to develop?
You won't believe it if I told you. But using the Polish supply chain, we were able to accomplish the build-out of this prototype in under 5 weeks.
Under 5 weeks?
Under 5 weeks, just to show you how important it is to transform the nuclear industry from one that used to build buildings to one that builds products, just like the automotive industry. This is our innovation, and this is what we were able to demonstrate.
So, does that mean that you cut corners on things like safety, for example?
Quite the opposite. In a factory, you can inspect even better. You can have higher quality assurance programs. This is the beauty. This is why the automotive industry, the aerospace industry, this is why they build underneath a roof, so you can have higher throughput and higher quality.
So, what's the next step?
Next step is to continue to expand our commercial agreements in country, continue to build out the Polish supply chain, ramp up manufacturing, get a license, and start delivering power to the Polish grid, both electricity and heat.
So, and how will that work? Say, for example, a small town in the south of Poland, for example, they would get their it would go sort of somewhere close to the city, a nuclear reactor?
It all depends on which product that we're selling, whether it's the heat or whether the electricity, the exact location. Of course, you want to be near a substation, or you want to be near where a connection point for heat pipes might be. So this helps determine the location.
Okay, and in terms of the finance, how does a local authority finance building something like that?
So there's two main innovations that we're bringing to the nuclear industry. Most nuclear plants are giant buildings and they are financed by governments. This is the model that we turn on its head. We've reversed this. So instead, we build it in a factory setting and we finance it ourselves. So we don't ask our customers or governments to put in any money hoping that we'll be able to deliver on time and on budget. We take all of the risk and then we charge a monthly utility bill, just like an existing utility company would, to get paid back over time.
So you are essentially the owners of the equipment and the network throughout its life?
Not the network that distributes the electricity. That's still a separate company.
Okay.
But what we do, especially when we serve to a private industry, is we will build a private power cable that goes directly from our facility to the factory. When it's connected to a municipality, we'll use the existing wires, we'll locate it outside the city, and then connect electric wire up to the substation.
Right, and what are the costs, for example? We've got that example of the reactor that's standing outside the stadium today.
Yeah, so our full system, and this is a full nuclear power plant, including the reactor, the power plant, the substation, will cost us under $100 million.
Right.
But remember, we pay for it. So if we go over, we pay for it. If we get under, we make more profit, and that aligns incentives perfectly. The nuclear industry is one of the few industries that has never had this free market, perfect incentive alignment, but we are bringing that to the nuclear industry so we can deliver on time and on budget.
And you've got your own investors, presumably?
Correct. Private equity from the United States.
Okay, and they're right behind this. And in terms of global, if you were to look at the next 5 years, what's the global plan?
Well, already in the last year, since we met last, we've signed contracts that are the equivalent of 50 of our 20 megawatt power plants. So over a gigawatt of contracted power so far. But our ambition is much greater than this, and we think with partnership with the Polish supply chain and the Polish manufacturing industry, we could be delivering hundreds every single year.
Hundreds every single year.
That's the vision, yes.
And how do you decide where to start in terms of which city to go to or which country to go to?
We go wherever the need is the greatest. So oftentimes people come to us and they say, we can't get stable power, we can't get reliable power. With the introduction of renewables onto the grid, it's intermittent. We can't get enough power either. And so they come to us and they say, can you provide us with this stable, on-site, baseload, clean energy source? And we say, of course.
Well, Bret, Kugelmass, it's a very exciting project, and we'll look forward to seeing more of these reactors actually working.
Thank you so much, David. Yeah.
So we'll invite you back on then. That's Bret Kugelmass from Last Energy joining with us on Business Arena. And that's all we've got time for today on Business Arena.